Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of all ages, welcome back to another edition of Star Citizen. Well, technically Star Citizen. I've had more than a few people ask me, how do I navigate the gray market? Well, I'm here to answer that question. You like my background? I sure do. So, let's start where I think most citizens start uh, with this. So you're looking through the ship section on RSI, and you come across a ship that you really like. Let's go with something that we can actually. I'm actually trying to pick like a cool one. That way, it's not like just some weird, lame one. All right, yeah. So let's go with the Super Hornet. So let's say you're looking through all the ships and you're like, Super Hornet, ooh, and you get in here and you're like, oh, what? Flight ready, but not available? The hell? So that's what I was like, at least. I don't know. You might act a little bit differently. So you found a ship that you want, but it's not available on the site. Pretty straightforward stuff. I don't know why they do this. The whole artificial scarcity thing is kind of a contentious subject. Might have a discussion on that later down the line because I'm a little. I'm 50-50 about the artificial scarcity thing, but I digress. So, yeah, you find the Super Hornet and you're like, I want that. I'm going to buy that. Well, you want to mosey on over to reddit.com/r/starcitizen_trades. Okay? Now, when you get to the Star Citizen Trades subreddit, you're going to more than likely be met with something along this line. So, basically, each one of these is dictated by a different tag. So, PSA is a public service announcement. The confirmed trades thread is just that. So, once you complete a transaction, the person that you buy from will make a post. They'll say trade, they'll put a link, they'll say either what they sold or some notes, and then you have to reply to this comment, okay? Put plus verify, and if you want, you can add to it. You can put more notes, or you could just do plus verify. Some people do, like this person, see? He just did plus verify, and that's totally kosher as well. But I'm jumping ahead of myself a little bit. So let's say you're like, okay, I want a Super Hornet. There's a couple different ways you can go about trying to track it down. You can either go through and look at each one individually. You can also do Control F to do a search and type in Super Hornet, and usually, keyword is usually, it'll have it in the title. If they don't have it in the title, you can also go over to this area. Ensure that you check this box. Limit my search to Star Citizen Trades. You don't want to be looking in Explain Like I'm 5 looking for a Super Hornet. And as you can see, I've searched many a time. So in this case, we'll type in Super Hornet. Boom. And now it'll show you listings that have Super Hornet in the title. Now you got to beware because some of these can be kind of old. Now this one being only 10 days, you're probably going to have a better chance finding something. Now along with that, there's something else you want to pay attention to, and that's this number here, trades. These are the amount of verified trades that the seller has already gone through with. Now, you see something like this person, they have no trades. And this was put up 4 months ago. Now, I'm not saying that this person is a scammer by any means, because everybody starts somewhere. The thing that you really have to be careful for, let's see, where's a Super Hornet? 250. So that's a little bit high, but if it's a little bit high, chances are they might be using a middleman, or they're just trying to price gouge a little bit due to the fact that something's hard to find. Now, some people, most people, will have some sort of link. You can click on that link, and that's kind of their evidence to show, hey, look, I do have the thing that I say I have, and it also gives you, most of the time, a quick overview of all the items you'll be getting with this sale. Now, something that you do always want to pay attention to, I can't stress this enough, is the amount of trades that the person's already gone through. Another thing is, if you find a sale listing that seems too good to be true, use your best judgment. People get scammed a lot. In fact, luckily on here, I actually don't see the confirmed scams threads, which is good. But every now and again, something will pop up and say, oh, X person is a scammer. They sold me this X amount of time ago. I should have known because it was under cost. Da 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 da. So when you go through the gray market, you have to understand you are taking some sort of a risk. And the thing is, the gray market is acknowledged by SIG, but it's not necessarily supported. So in the happenstance that you buy something and it's an illicit good and SIG pulls it from your account, you're not going to get any mercy from them. So customer support, all them, they're basically going to say, well, you know what, you should have waited for the anniversary sale, which, if I'm not mistaken, this year is coming up on the 24th. I just got an email about it. So literally 2 weeks, 2 weeks from the day of filming this video. Well, it's not really filming, creating. November 24th, 2017 is when the 2017 or 2947 anniversary sale is going live. That'll be going until December 4th. Again, that's just for this year. They always start at different times. So another thing that you always want to go and look for is like stores. So we have at Kane's Middleman Services. Middleman right there should tell you pretty straightforward, this guy is a middleman, which he is. Kane is probably the most well-known middleman. He's been doing it, if I'm not mistaken, basically since the advent of Star Citizen and the ability to buy and sell ships. So with this guy, I mean, he is so trustworthy. The thing is, though, you're going to pay a bit of a premium because he's obviously middlemaning it, and he's not going to do it for free. So, for instance, the 300i, which I believe is 55. Yep, right on the money. So, as you can see, 69, which actually is not a bad price, except it's a CCU. It's not an original concept. Another thing you want to pay attention to is the type. Some people don't care if it's CCU'd or original concept. Me, myself, I prefer to get original concepts. Now, original concept literally, in this context, boils down to it's not a CCU. So this might not actually be from when the 300i was first introduced. Oh my god, brand new fucking ship. No. Original concept in this happenstance means it is just this ship. This ship was purchased with whatever, and it is as is. So like the 325A. Here, there's two options. You can get one for 76, which isn't too bad because the 325 is 70. On the money. So for 76, that's not too bad. But you go to the original concept with LTI, which just means what he basically did was he purchased the ship at some point. Well, he has ownership of this ship with LTI just attached to it, just the ship. In my opinion, it is a better practice to get an original concept, because let's say for some reason you need to melt this ship, whether it be to get credits for something else or what have you. It runs the gamut what the rationale could be. If it's a CCU, let's say it's CCU'd from Dragonfly. You melt it, you're only getting the Dragonfly back. Yeah, sure, that Dragonfly's got LTI, but now you got to go through the hassle of re-CCUing it. And if it's for a ship that you can't normally get, like look right here, the Crucible, the CCU'd version's $400. That's a lot of cash. No original concept version. So again, you buy this Crucible. Let's say you hit some hard times or whatever. Well, that wouldn't make sense. Let's say you want I don't know, a new concept ship comes out and it's like 350, right? Well, if you were to melt this Crucible LTI, you're going to get whatever this was CCU'd from. So if this was the Dragonfly to Crucible, you paid $400. Guess what? You just got a $400 Dragonfly. Now, Although you will get the difference back in store credit. Well, you'll get the whole in store credit, but you'll only be able to buy back the Dragonfly. That's what I'm kind of trying to say. So what was the Dragonfly, like 40? So you'd get 300 and you get the $400 back, but you'd only get the option to buy the Dragonfly back, leaving you with 360 and no CCU back to the Crucible. So you'd have to wait for 2 weeks from today, the 10th, which would be the 24th, which is when the anniversary sale starts, and then you'd probably be able to do some shenanigans to get LTI onto it. So that's really, 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 really important to remember as well. Me personally, I always try to get original concept ships. When I first started buying from the gray market, I had no idea, and I bought a bunch that were CCU'd because they were cheaper. So me not thinking, I went with those because I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to fucking get it for 50, 60, $100 cheaper. Why not? Well, now I know why not. I myself am always willing to pay a little bit extra to get the original concept, but not necessarily through a middleman because they are price gouged more than normal. So if we were to go to here, for instance, so this is Mr. 52 Gen. I've actually bought something from this gentleman not too long ago. He's got a good amount of trades. So to me, that tells me he's reputable. I can trust him. In fact, I can because, not to go into too much, but me and him had a transaction. And basically the item, it looked like one way on his thing. And when it got to me, it was something else. And he was immediately like, dude, if you're unhappy, I will try to do a refund. I mean, I can't really do a whole refund, but I want to work with you to make it work. And I really appreciated that because some traders, it's like, well, you know what? You knew the terms and conditions when you applied. So tough titty. Bye. So this guy, I like him for the fact that he actually gave a shit and he wanted to try to make things right. But I told him, it's all right. Well, I put in a ticket with concierge to see if they could fix it. Still waiting to hear back. But anyway, so these are actually some pretty decent prices. So look, he's got a Polaris. Now keep in mind though, it's a CCU'd for $750, and you get to pay actually $750. Get an actual Polaris for the actual price, but again, at the cost of it being a CCU. So hypothetically, if this was CCU'd from a Dragonfly to the Polaris, yeah, you're only paying the Polaris price for $750. But if you wanted to melt this or CCU it to something like the Pioneer when it first came out, well, now you can't downgrade back to it. So just keep that in mind. So whereas if we go over here to the original concepts, the Saber is $220 for his price. I believe the original price was $175. Maybe I didn't go low enough. Hold on. Oh, of course, it's not going to tell me. So I'm sure as you are aware, this is how you would do the CCU. So what you would do is you would find the ship that you have, and the Saber is 170. Okay, so you'd be able to take, all right, so 170. I'm getting off track. Apologies. So for 170, I'm paying about a $50 premium to get an original concept. But in the happenstance that I need to melt it for whatever reason, I'll now be able to rebuy this Saber with LTI for the original price of 170 instead of the 220 and have that now back into my fleet. And if I so choose, I can then also go and recycle it and resell it if I rebuy it with cash, if you didn't know. I know that probably sounded a little confusing. So if you have a ship, let's stay with the Saber. And let's say I bought this from someone on the gray market. They gifted it to me. Well, now this ship is technically account bound, which is why I prefer to get the original concept ships. Because then, with this being account bound, if I were to melt it, wait like a day, I think is the time limit, I could go back into the buybacks, buy this ship back for cash. So I'd have to spend another $170. That's the only real downfall. Or if I had a buyback token, I'd be able to use the store credit to buy this back. But with the store credit token, it's account bound. You can't trade it. But again, if I were to take the $170, inject that back in for the buyback, this will now go back onto my account and it'll be giftable. So if you do have a ship and you want to sell it, but it was gifted to you, if you melt it, put it up for sale, and then someone buys it, you can use the cash that they gave you to rebuy it from your buybacks and then gift it out. And that's how a lot of these sales are being done. Um, Now, the way that this will go is, so let's go to this guy, Backwater. I've also bought some ships from this guy. Another good trader is Newbies. Let's see if he's on here. Newbies, this guy. I've bought a couple things from Newbies. His is actually pretty decent, if I recall correctly. And he also gives you prices in euros and US dollars. So the Ursa rover was originally $50. It now has LTI and it's $69. So it's like $20 added on. That's not terrible. I've seen some of these go for like over $80 before. So I would say, some of the really good ones: Backwater, Fleet Factory, Kane. But again, with the middleman, you're paying even extra on top of that premium. Who else? Agresian. I've bought from this person. He's also great. Newbie. Trying to see who else I've bought from that was good that I can see. I think I've bought from Strahan. I think I bought from this person before. Banu Hanger. Tile Roll. Whoever this guy. I've bought a couple from him. Or no, I lied. I almost bought from him, but I found a slightly better deal. And then when you scroll down, you can go next, and there are more pages. There are tons of new pages. And with that, there's a couple different ways that you can sort these. There's hot, and then there's new. What I like to do is I like to try to go to new, because obviously it'll show you the newest packages that were thrown up there. Sometimes you can snipe some really good deals by going on to new. For instance, I actually got a ridiculously good deal on a Mustang Omega because I just happened to hit new, and the thing was only up for a few minutes, and I was able to jump in and buy this ship. You wouldn't even believe me if I told you how much I bought the Mustang Omega for. You really wouldn't even believe me. I'm going to tell you anyway. $35. Yeah. AMD Mustang Never Settle Edition. In fact, let me go find it. Mahangale. So I think it was a package. Yep. Boom. So this, now technically it has no value. Like if I were to melt this, it's a $0 melt. If I were to CCU it, the ship technically has a $55 value. But I'm not stupid. I would never sell, melt, or CC. Oh, and if you were to melt this package, it is gone forever. You cannot rebuy this because it's a super special edition. So again, I bought this one for $35 because I took a chance. I could have been scammed real hard because of how cheap it was. In fact, in the listing, like 5 or 6 people were calling this guy a scammer. It was up for maybe like 7 minutes. Now that I think about it, because there was like 4 or 5 people in there that was calling him a scammer. It's like, oh, it's too cheap. Da da da. Well, I was like, you know what? $35. I'll take that chance. That's not a huge risk. If I lose $35, shame on me. I should have known better. But the reward was worth it, and I've still got it. And I did this purchase back in September, and it's still on here. And as you can see, this was done in 2014, and this person had the ship for that long, and then gifted it to me because, like I said, he would be unable to exchange it for credits. When you try to, see, $0, but it has a CCU value of 55. Again, I would never CCU or melt this thing because of just how incredibly rare this is. This is basically like the Saber Raven of yesteryear. People had no idea. This actually came with a video card. Oh, shit. I digress. So yeah, that's kind of a quick, brief overview. So oh, I didn't even do the whole fucking sale. All right, so let's say you found the Super Hornet that you want. Well, you can also do CCUs. What another is really popular is they'll have CCUs from a popular or almost always available ship like the Taurus. So if we go to ships, we can buy the Taurus for 150 almost all the time. Now, what you could do to get LTI, you get like an X1 or a Nox or a Dragonfly, which you can also get from here if you don't have one. Probably going to be like around 50 to 60 bucks. Buy one of those. Okay, here we go. Like right here, Nox Q LTI, 44 bucks. So you buy this, and that's actually a pretty decent price. That's backwater. Remember that. So you could buy this Nox Q LTI for 44 bucks, which is really only about $4 to $10 above base price, which again is fucking great. So you buy this ship, right? Now that goes into your hangar. So now you can CCU that Q to the Taurus. Oh, just went past it. Okay. Effectively giving this Taurus now LTI. So you pay the 110, you now have an LTI Taurus. Now you go to, where was it? Here we go. And now you can buy the upgrade Taurus to Super Hornet, 25 bucks. And because you have the upgrade, the LTI Taurus will now net you an LTI Super Hornet. Or if they actually have the ship, so let's say, for the argument's sake, we wanted this Saber. We don't have a Saber, we want it. What we could do, so let's say we've decided. I'm sorry, I keep jumbling over my words. I want to try to get this information out there and trying to make it as easy to follow as possible. So I'm sorry that I don't have a script or anything. I'm literally just going right off the cuff with this. So you want the Saber, and you see, oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, so it's the Saber. Comes with the poster, the model, lifetime insurance. Yep, I want this. So what you would do is you now contact the seller. There's a few ways that you can do this. Some sellers will have a link in the description of the item where you can click and it'll say PM. Some don't, like this one. So what we have to do is mosey on up to his name, click on message, and then we would say something like that, and I'd be like, hello, good sir or madam. I know he's a sir, so I'm actually going to I am interested in purchasing your Saber LTI, original concept Saber LTI. Now, if you have questions or anything, this is the time to ask them. If you don't, generally what you then need to give to them is your information. So the information that they need are your PayPal email. I'm just going to call it, PayPal pack. Email at gmail.com. Obviously, this is not my email address. And then they also need your RSI handle. Now, the RSI handle is the name you go by in game. So not the one that you log in with. The name that when you're in the game and in chat, you press enter, you say a thing, you send it, whatever comes up in there. So mine, for instance, is It's Bildo. So if I wanted this ship, I would then send this off to him. He would then either get back to me in a message or get back to me and send me a PayPal invoice to my email. So in the email, you basically get it says like, so and so. It'll have their name. So and so sent you the invoice, and I haven't been reading the terms. I've been doing it recently just to make sure no one's trying anything shady. I would suggest just scanning over them real quick, make sure everything looks like it's in order, because if on the happenstance that something goes wrong or if you get screwed, and let's say they snuck something into the terms saying you are just paying me and I'm sending you a picture of it, well, if you try to fight it, well, it's in the terms what they did, what they were going to do, and you accepted and still paid. So I would also highly suggest that when you get the invoices, just scan through them. You don't need to go and send it to a lawyer, but just make sure you are getting what you think you're paying for. From there, you would hit pay, send the payment. Once you've done that, you would then go back to your messages and reply to the seller and say payment sent. And then after a few moments, they'd either respond or they would then send you the ship. And how that would work is, so this is basically the email that you would get. And it's going to say Robert Space Industries gift. And this is what the tag is going to be. Someone sent you a gift. And then inside, it'll say, hi, your handle. And that's really important. You have received this email because someone sent you a gift. Yeah, I bought a standalone Phoenix. Don't judge me. So then you would just go down, you click on this link, and it'll bring you in. Now, I've already claimed this gift, so obviously it's going to say it's not valid. But then once you get, now another important thing, before you click on this, oh shit, I should have said this first. Before you click on this, okay, make sure you open up, if you have multiple accounts especially, make sure that you're logged into the correct account that you want the ship bound to. Because as you saw, once I clicked on this, it just opened right up, and it's already in my account. So had I not received this ship, if I had two accounts and I wanted it on one over the other, if I didn't jump in, or log in, to the one that I wanted it on, it would go to whichever one I was already pre-logged into. So first and foremost, before you accept this gift, make sure you are logged into the account you wish it to go to. Then you would click this, brings you to the page, and it would say, congratulations, you are now the owner of a Sabre LTI, yada, yada, yada. From there, you could then go to your hangar and check it out. Now, some people get a little freaked out because when they go to their hangar, the ship isn't, right at the top. And that'll happen sometimes if it's an old ship. So when I bought this Retaliator heavy bomber a few months ago, I didn't see it in my list, like near the top. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where did it go? And then I went to concept ships and finally went all the way down, and I see it's because it was so old. This was a legitimate original Retaliator heavy bomber, and that's why. Same with this one. When I bought this one, it also didn't show up at the top. This one freaked me out the most because I was like, "Are you serious? Did I just get scammed?" But no. It was just because it was an older purchase. Same with this one. See, it's from 2015. I didn't open my account until 2017. If you'd believe that, it's fucking true. So I even had a couple things to learn. I am still new at some of this stuff. But that is basically an overview, hopefully somewhat quick, of how you navigate the gray market. I hope this video has helped you. If it has, leave a like down below. If you want to see videos like this, leave a comment. Tell me what you want to see. I'm always going through the comments, and I try to respond to the ones that I feel are applicable for me to respond to. I'm always up for ideas. I am definitely planning a 3.0 mass play, especially if they're able to get 60 people in the servers. Sean Tracy, I don't know if you guys saw the Newegg stream, but it's basically been confirmed, all but confirmed, that 3.0 may hold 60 player servers. So going from 24 currently to 60 and having at least 30 frames per second constant. That's awesome. That I'm excited to. And if that's the case, I'm going to have to try to figure out some fucking way to get everybody to be able to play together. Or maybe we have to do a couple days in a row where we're playing. We just have to kind of go on the honor system and swap out here and there. I don't know. I'm still working through the logistics. If you have any ideas as to what you think would be best logistically to try to get something like that going, by all means, please let me know. And other than that, thank you very much for watching. You beautiful bastards out there, have yourselves a wonderful day. Peace.